Hi, everybody. Welcome to Lesson 1, Setting Up for Success. So in this lesson, we are basically going to go over how to set up your Facebook page for success before you start posting, before you start driving traffic. We want to get your Facebook page set up to a really solid start. We're also going to go over building a brand board. Now, brand boards are not necessarily specific to social media marketing. They have a lot of utility in your business, so it's actually going to be a really good thing to come out of the training with. But in addition to that, it makes Facebook and creating graphics so much easier. So I really want you guys to have a solid brand board set up so that you can get set up for success. All right, so for this lesson, you're going to need your logo, your brand colors, and your headshots or team photos. If you have not taken professional photos and you're branding yourself, or you're out networking a lot and people are really associating your face with your business, that's something you really need to go do. I know it's an expense and sometimes we don't want to necessarily invest in that in our business, but it will really change the game in terms of your integrating your kind of networking out in your community and your social media pages and your website. And it's just a really, really great thing to have. So I won't harp on that too long, but definitely get headshots or team photos if you don't have them. One more note as well, if you don't have a logo or brand colors yet, don't worry about that. I am going to show you in this lesson what you can do to kind of get started quickly on building your personal brand if you haven't yet. So don't worry about that. If you don't have them, I'm going to show you what to do. If you do have a logo and a website and brand colors for your business, then go ahead and download your logo and make sure you have it on hand because you will need it later on in this lesson. All right, building a brand board. So building a brand board is a really great foundation for your business for print marketing, digital marketing. It's a really great thing to send to if you're working with a web designer, if you're working with a graphic designer, if you want to hire someone to manage your social media. So I really want to set you guys up for success by getting that going first. So I hopped on over into Canva. I love Canva. I use it for all kinds of things. It's an amazing tool and resource. If you're not design savvy and you don't want to use complicated software like Adobe or InDesign, Canva is just such an awesome tool. I mean, I know how to use InDesign and I still 9 times out of 10 will hop over to Canva because it's just so easy. So the first thing you want to do for your brand is build a brand board. And a brand board is basically just all the elements of your brand in one really easy and convenient place on this little board, hence its name. So the first thing on your brand board will be your logo or logos if you have variations. The next item will be your colors. So if you already have a website and a logo, then this is real easy peasy. You're just going to grab your hex codes for your colors, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute. You're also going to want to pick 2 or 3 fonts. And the reason I say that is because fonts can have a real impact for your brand. People will start to associate especially this Scripty font that I use. It's really unique and has a specific feel. So you really want to pick a couple fonts and stick to them if you can when you're creating content. It'll give you really good consistency in your brand. So I always recommend picking 3. Pick like a regular sans serif font for all your text, large copy, that kind of stuff. Pick like a bold font for like headlines and things you want to highlight or draw attention to. And then it's always fun to have kind of like a scripty font. And if we go into the like templates on Canva, you'll see that they quite often will use 2 or 3 fonts in their designs. It gives your designs a dimension that they wouldn't have without it. So like this is a great example. They did the how-to as like a scripty font, and then they did the bake bread as more of like a bold, kind of like blocky font. And it looks really dynamic than if these were both the same font. So If you're not sure about picking fonts, I would recommend Googling font pairings. There's a lot of really classic font pairings, usually in these styles. So you can go ahead and just like hop in, Google, look at all the different font pairings, and I would just pick what looks good to you. Especially if you're branding yourself, you already really have your brand. You're just kind of going with what you like and what speaks to your personality. The next thing you want to do is grab some inspiration photos. If you don't have a brand at all yet, then this might be the place you want to start, because that's going to inform your colors, your textures. It could even inform your fonts depending on what kind of images you find. So like for me, I went and searched for, I knew I wanted to do navy blue and red because my headshots were those colors. And so I took a lot of inspiration from the headshots and what I'd chosen to wear in my photo shoot. And so because of that, I kind of had colors outlined. And then I went and I just looked on Pinterest for navy blue and gold office or decor. And all these photos popped up. And as you can see, I actually ended up going with the first photo because I just liked it. I loved the juxtaposition of the bold kind of navy stripes and then the flowers and kind of gold bling feel. And then the scripty font that was here. And you can see all those elements are now in my brand board. I've got kind of the scripty font. I've got the gold glitter. I've got the solid brick from my photo shoot. I've got the polka dots. And then I went and found a couple other photos that kind of fit with that. And so my brand colors and my fonts were really inspired by just this one photo. And that's really all it takes, is just something that kind of draws you in. So spend some time on Pinterest, pin a couple things that kind of speak to you. Go with your favorite colors if you want. If you already have a logo and you already have colors, but maybe you're not jazzed with your website, or maybe you feel like your company could use a little bit more of solid inspiration, you can do this too. Take the colors from your logo that you already have and do the same thing. Just put, whatever your colors are, an office or decor or themes, or even, you can even do that. Look, this one's work outfits. Look at all this. Those look awesome together. So you can take inspiration from anywhere like this for your brand. And then go ahead and throw those photos in here so that you have them visually in front of you. So that's how you put together a brand board. I really recommend it. It's such a good tool. You can reference back to this over and over and over again. Every time you create graphics, every time you look for stock photos, you can reference back to here as kind of a guideline. And it really takes out the overwhelm of, well, how should I design this? Or what colors should I use here? Because then okay, all my social media posts are going to be some variation of a few of these colors or all of these colors. And when you're looking for stock photos, you really know that you have a template to work off of. Now, building something like a brand board, if you have no logo, no brand colors, maybe you're starting completely from scratch, I want to show you kind of a shortcut that can be super helpful, especially if this kind of stuff isn't really your forte. Here's a way you can get started really quickly. If you head on over to Etsy, there's something called branding kits. These are really good if you're branding yourself, if you're a consultant, or again, you work in a field like real estate or insurance or a mortgage broker, or anything where you are your brand. If your Facebook page is a public figure page, as in it's your name, not your company name, then a branding kit can be a really good way to go. So what you do is you go to Etsy, type in branding kits, and all of these different branding kits will pop up. And branding kits basically are a done-for-you brand board. So as you can see, this one's $25. It has 3 different logo variations. It has all the colors. It has the inspiration photos for the board. And it's all done for you. And you can see this person, Solora Designs, has a bunch of others too. So for 25 bucks, you can get this entire brand board, done for you. And then all you do is just they will change your name so that it's your content. So go on Etsy. If you're feeling a little overwhelmed, go on Etsy and search branding kits and find one that speaks to you. Find one that feels like your vibe, feels like, you'll know it when you see it. It's like buying clothing or buying a car, or when you walk into the shoe store and you see a pair of shoes that you absolutely must have and they look like they're made for you. You'll get that same feeling for your brand board. And there's all different kinds of, like this one's really cool. This one's done for a realtor. And look at that, like gold. That looks really nice. And you can see her inspiration pieces. So there's all kinds of cool stuff. And this one is $15, and it even comes with like business card mock-ups. And it comes with all kinds of content. There's the social media icons. So you can find like really some solid gold, not to be punny, but on here. And even search for your brand if you want. Like a lot of these, this one's for photography, this one's for real estate. You could even type your brand up here in your industry up here into the search bar and probably find one that's, really specifically branded for your industry. But yeah, if you're feeling overwhelmed, I highly recommend just getting a done for you one. It costs a little bit of money, but for $10, not having to spend an hour and a half looking through Pinterest and finding your colors and finding your hex codes, you can just have it all done for you. Browse around, find one you like. They're all different. This one's kind of cool. Oh, I love this one. So that's what I would recommend. But that's how you build your own. And especially if you have an existing company logo and an existing website, then you might want to build your own because you really already have a brand. You just need to put it all in one place.